Now, the normal default setting of our brain is we learn many things. Every day we learn things, but we also forget many things. So, it's learning, and forgetting. Just forgetting there, right? So, this is what happens, and this is why sometimes language acquisition is very slow, and it's not reliable. We spend a lot of time learning, but we're not getting all the vocabulary we learn does not become part of us. You agree? Yes? So, how to break through this learning and forgetting way of studying all the time without getting a result? Well, the answer is you have to do a lot of practice, a lot of using of language. So it's the use of language. Using L2 is actually what will give you the language longer term. So the reason I could speak French and German and English quite fluently is because while I was learning the languages, I was also traveling to those countries regularly and spent time there and had to do things with German, with French, with English. So that's a way to keep the language that you learn. So learning L2, forgetting L2, because you don't forget first language, do you? First language you never forget. Why? Because you use it all the time. So you're reminded all the time of the vocabulary. But the second language, we sometimes use it, sometimes we don't use it. So the more you use that second language, the more you practice it, the more you engage with people in that target culture, in that language culture. So you're in Australia now, so you have a good opportunity to use the second language, right? But still there are some people who avoid English. After class they go home and they watch a Chinese video, or they talk to a Chinese friend in Chinese, or they play mahjong. It's not going to help you with this. So, learning, using, keeping. This is the formula, okay? Keeping L2. That means acquisition. Acquisition is what you keep after you have learned and used it. So if you use this language all the time, the more you use this language, the longer you keep it, because you are reminding your brain all the time that this language is very important, it's very useful to you. Because your brain is set up in this way. If you have things in your brain that are not useful, the brain says, let's get rid of it. Let's clean out the storeroom. We don't use it, we don't need it. Let's make room for things we really need. Isn't it? By using it, you're reminding yourself, this is important. And this is why every now and then I read a French novel. Or I go on the internet and look for a German website. Because it forces me, it tells my brain the languages you learned when you were young are still useful today. Yeah? So, now, on top of this, we are learning, so learning new L2, new second language. So when you learn new second language on top of second language that you have kept, what happens there? You will forget it if you're not careful. But if you use it, the new L2, the new second language, if you use that new second language, then you have a chance to keep this. So you see how your store of knowledge about the second language keeps growing this way. Yeah? because this is maintained by using it. This is also maintained by using it further and further. So it's a very simple formula. I want you to have a visual idea about this. So you learn language, you will forget it. But you use it, very strongly, frequently, as much as possible, deeply, purposefully. Yeah? Then you